drizzle out here. You can't really see anything. It's pretty much whiteout, blizzard, so it's almost impossible to shoot videos right now. I'm gonna have to head in somewhere where I can actually shoot something where you can maybe hopefully hear me and I'm not freezing my ass off. So stay tuned, guys. We're gonna try to get somewhere warm and upload a video.
It did help us
here blown off with the wind off onto the side of the road.
We're gonna have to wait traffic off.
Do you want to see if we can pull people out? We can pull these people out in about 4 seconds.
It is a nasty pile up here and a brutal storm. Wow.
It's not gonna go.
This is Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth, and we just survived a crazy snowstorm, as you just saw. So needless to say, we're not going to be able to be filming any videos outside at Standing Rock today, unfortunately. So I wanted to quickly shoot this video report to give you some of my thoughts on some of the latest news. Here in North Dakota, there's been a major victory for the Standing Rock Sioux tribe, as the pipeline construction has been temporarily halted, and they're going to be looking into new routes for this pipeline. The Department of the Army's decision to stop this pipeline construction is going to put this project back by months, hence now the reason that some of these protesters are going to stick it out for the long haul. I camped out with them last night, folks, and let me tell you, it ain't easy. These people are hardcore. The Army said it's going to be looking for alternative routes, so as it stands right now, it looks like there will be no drilling or pipelines going underneath the Missouri River. Thousands of people are showing up, all the hotels around here are completely booked, and veterans, thousands of them, continue to show up every single day. This pushback has been so fierce that the Army Corps of Engineers have decided that an alternative route is a better trade-off than clashing with the protesters. Of course, when President-elect Trump enters the Oval Office, he's going to have the ability to veto this decision and just put the plan right back the way it was with the original pipeline routes. Trump owns stock in the company that's building the pipeline, Energy Transfer Partners. So while environmentalists are praising this decision, there are pro-infrastructure groups who are condemning this move, and they're saying this is a purely political decision that flies in the face of common sense and the rule of law. But of course, where is the rule of law in this situation? Sure, the government has no rightful claim to land, but since stealing the land from Aboriginals, Americans have been showing up on these properties and farming there. They've mixed their living with their labor, and over time, they've become the legitimate property owners. Just think of this like it's a city. Vancouver, BC, for example, was once all Aboriginal land, but it eventually became inhabited by Canadian citizens. If it was still in its natural wilderness and the taking of the land was from the Aboriginals to the government, then they would have a case. But since taking the land, millions of people have moved to Vancouver and they've started their own businesses and they've started to build their own houses. They transformed the landscape and throughout this lengthy process became the legitimate property owners. If protester groups attack and occupy private land because it may have been owned over 100 years ago by a particular Aboriginal group, then they are now no better than the original land grabbers. An eye for an eye, folks, is going to make the whole world blind. And meanwhile, the decision to hold off this construction of the pipeline means that some of these protesters are probably going to stay there right on through the winter. The local sheriff has called these demonstrations an unlawful protest, but many of these camps have already said they're not going anywhere. And I should mention, no one trusts the Army here, folks. There's just too many uncertainties going on at this time. But one thing is for sure, and that is that eminent domain is government theft of land, plain and simple. But as well, the private ranches in these areas belong to the ranchers, not the natives. In a more rational legal system, these things would work themselves out peacefully. But with the state in charge of the ultimate final decision here, what we're left with is just unprincipled and completely arbitrary decisions. There's no rule of law when the state holds a monopoly on violence. So one of the things I'm noticing here on the grounds, guys, is that some of the environmentalists have hijacked or merged their narrative with this in order to make it about how big bad oil companies are evil. But this was and still is a debate about private property. So yes, we've had a small victory here today in North Dakota, but guys, let's not forget that yes, the Native Americans were wronged a long time ago, over 100 years ago, but this certainly does not make it right for them to occupy private land owned by these families who have been farming for well over 100 years. So folks, I'd have to say, rather than trying to fix the wrongs of the past and trying to get some sort of retribution, I think we need some more forward thinking here, and we need to abolish things like eminent domain that give the state the ability to steal your property and then do with it as they please. Stay tuned for more updates coming here from Standing Rock in North Dakota, and please click on the link right here, the GoFundMe link, if you want to support our efforts out here, or check the links in the description. And stay tuned, guys, we've got more video reports coming soon. This is Dan Dix reporting for Press for Truth.